Demand for coal grew as more cities were lit with coal gas and more homes were heated with coal stoves. But demand would reach a whole new level once innovators on both sides of the Atlantic found a way to make the steam engine mobile.
The railways were really the result of tens, even hundreds of years of industrial development. So to get an engine on a track requires all sorts of technological advances. So you need the steam engine to work properly, you need a track that is properly laid and is stable, you need a way to connect the steam engine with coaches and so on. So they weren't invented in one go. They were a whole process of development that finally came to fruition with the railways of the early 1830s in both the United States, in England, and also in several European countries. The railways grew incredibly fast. Within 20 years, there were 6,000 miles of railway. In Great Britain, this same process happened in the United States. Again, within 20 years, there were thousands of miles of railway. Railroads created the economies of the capitalist countries. It wasn't a kind of coincidence that, capitalism and rapid economic growth takes off as the railways take off. They were the engines of economic growth.
Much of that coal had been coming from Pennsylvania, but that was changing too, as the steam engine on wheels covered more ground.
What we start to see is the emergence of essentially a national grid of coal production linked together by railroads, to the point where if you were in Chicago and you were a consumer in the 1880s and 1890s, you could burn coal from any number of sources. What this meant for American coal consumers were relatively low coal prices. Railroads had an impact on so many things. First and foremost, railroads literally shrunk time and space. The cost of shipping goods declined dramatically because of railroads. Railroads created an environment that encouraged technological and organizational innovation.
While railroads were building the delivery network for goods and energy, coal was providing energy and raw materials for infrastructure. Coal use continued to grow, but in the face of growing demand, technical innovations brought large-scale hydroelectric, oil, and natural gas into the energy marketplace. Industry was adapting to energy diversity. Railroads were moving to hybrid technology, diesel-electric.
Steam-powered required carrying vast amounts of coal or wood. With the advent of electric motors, we had something that was much more efficient, much smaller. In diesel locomotives, the diesel fuel runs a generator that runs the electric motor that is used for the propulsion of the locomotive.
Steam technology was both quite expensive, quite dirty. It took about 50, 60 years, but really by, say, the end of the 1960s, there were very few.
The railroads weren't fueled by coal anymore, but they still carried coal for industrial boilers and electricity generation. But I think our awareness of coal as an energy source really began to fade as we adopted these other fuels. Coal became a hidden fuel, a forgotten fuel in our society.